How's it going, everyone? This is Fine Gaming Connoisseur, and welcome back to another video of Let's Play Multiple Online 2 Beta. Alright, so today we're still playing on 0.1.8.4. Okay, so while we're waiting for the next patch, potentially a mega patch, as we sometimes do see from SV, I thought I'd continue my game guide series for new players and also I would say for existing players as well. Okay, so I'm just going through this area here. I've never been through this. There's like a separate entrance that leads out of Tindrem. So I don't know whether this is the... So there does appear to be several entrances. So you've got one entrance here. This is like the eastern gate, which as far as I've seen has been opened. Let's go and see that. Yes, it has been opened. So now you can travel from the east, and you can if you follow the road, it will lead you to the eastern gate of Tindrem City. So now you have 3 entrances as opposed to the 2 entrances. Actually, we had 3 as well, but the other entrance in Multiple Online 1 led to the Tindrem Arena. So now you have 3 entrances into the city. So you've got one here, another one that's I would say the south gate, and then you've got another one like the one that I just came out of. So, and I think that one is the Tindrem Arena entrance. So now you've got the 3 entrances now into Tindrem City. Alright, so today I want to talk about the topic of playing this game alone or solo, and as opposed to playing in a group, and also the player politics. So let me just check my... okay, I'm carrying all my stuff. Alright, so that's okay, I don't mind. It's just 1 gold. But yeah, so whoever kills me can loot my 1 gold. So in this game, I played this game, I played Multiple Online 1 for many years. I think I played it for maybe 7 years, I think. I played as a solo player. If you follow my adventures in my Multiple Online 1 videos, you'll see that for the majority, for a great portion of the 7 years, I've been playing as a solo player. And so I just wanted to talk about that, because I think a lot of players, when they first come in, they're wondering, what are the is it viable for me to play as a solo player, or do I have to join a group? Do I have to join a guild? And so my answer to that, so this is my take. My answer to that would be, Marlon Rose, awesome, we have it now. So my answer would be yes, you can definitely play this game as a solo player, and this is coming from a 7-year solo player. And so I'm going to go through some of the pros and cons of playing as a solo player and playing in a group. So first of all, I think playing as a solo player, you do have all the freedom you could ever want. In fact, you are your own boss when you play solo. No one is ever going to tell you, when and what and how to do things. You get to decide that for yourself. So that's probably the one thing that I love about playing solo, is that the freedom is just, it's all yours. You get to do what you want, when you want, and how you want. And so that's what one of the main appeals of playing as a solo player now. And you have, you get to enjoy, you get to enjoy and learn things at your own pace, and I definitely think that learning at your own pace is, learning on your own is the best teacher. I've learned a lot of things on my own, and so that's definitely helped me to, survive on my own for the past 7 years. Let me just see this place. And as a solo player, you don't have to worry about, having the politics, that would naturally come, in a guild. In a guild, you normally would have, you would inherit the politics of the guild that you're joining. So as a solo player, you don't have to worry about that unless you choose to get involved in politics, which I'll get to later. And so this is a nice spot for when fishing comes along. I think fishing is coming along, in the next few patches. I'm not sure which one, but it's definitely coming. Okay, so, as a solo player, you get to enjoy, I suppose, a sort of sense of, apolitical status, unless you choose to get involved. At which point you would become a political player. But by and large, if you're a solo player, most guilds and political, people who are involved in politics will, normally they would tend to just avoid, they would leave you alone, but that there are exceptions. So that's another thing, another pro of playing as a solo player now. Okay, so now some of the cons of playing as a solo player would be, a lot of the tedious stuff you have to do by yourself. Things like gathering resources and, all the, all the crafting and all the refining processes, hauling goods, everything you have to do by yourself. There's no, you don't have a whole guild to do that for you or to back you up if you run into trouble. Oh. Alright, let me just hide myself. Yeah, I see a... let me just back myself to a... hide myself. I see a player. Okay, so you do have to do everything yourself, which is which can be a little bit tedious, and so that can be a bit of a grind, especially if you die a lot. Let's say, for example, then every time you die, you have to craft yourself a new set of gear, and you have to go and harvest resources and things like that. And also, as a solo player, you won't be able to do everything. In this game, there's already quite a lot of player specialization, and you have to choose what you want to be, and what sort of field you want to go into, and you are faced with more limitations, I suppose. As a solo player, you really have to narrow down what you're going to do, and what you're going to specialize in. So I suppose that's the other disadvantage of playing as a solo player, is that you have more limitations. Hopefully that player's left. I'm not sure if you saw that player earlier on. There was a player that was heading my way, and I decided to take evasive action, because you never know. Okay. Right, hopefully he's passed. Or maybe he's hiding from me. Who knows? Okay, and also as a solo player, you do not have, a big guild to back you up. If you were to, run into danger. So unlike, unlike in a big guild where you have the protection of, all your guild mates, you are. Oh no. Okay. Alright, let me just heal up. Alright, so you do run into bandits along the road. Okay. Alright. So that's an example. If you run into danger, you're on your own. And so as a, so that's the pros and cons of playing as a solo player. And I suppose another one would be, another cons of playing as a solo player is that, there's going to be, I suppose large portions of your playtime that's going to be, quite, you're going to be by yourself. So at times you can feel a little bit, the world can, you can feel a little bit lonely, just playing by yourself, but you can always group up with friends, of course. But there is that sense of that you are alone by yourself. Yeah, so that's the, I suppose that's the other downside. However, if you make friends in this game, then it won't be so bad. So you can definitely play as a solo player, but just be aware of the pros and cons. There's pros and cons with playing as a solo player and also as a in a guild. So the pros and cons of playing in a guild would be the opposite of, pretty much the opposite of a solo player. I have a feeling I'm going to run into a wolf. I think. Hopefully not. But what is this? Is that a stone? This is a stone? Okay. Sometimes you can't tell. Oh, this looks dangerous. This looks really, really dangerous. Bush pig, okay. Yeah, this looks like a really dangerous dangerous road. Yeah, this is definitely somewhere ambushes can happen. Player bandits can probably hide here. And conversely, if you're running away from bandits, player bandits, you can hide in here as well. So, double-edged sword. So yeah, so you can probably see the difference, between playing as a solo player in a guild. So in a guild, you would have a lot of friends to help you do things, and you won't feel so limited. You probably have armor crafters, weapon crafters, alchemists, you have weapon. I said weapon crafting. You have resource gatherers. You have bodyguards. You have everything. Especially in a big guild, and you can participate in guild wars and but on the downside, you do have you do inherit the guild's politics. So whatever enemies that the guild may have, then you will be a part of that. So you may find yourself getting killed in town and so forth. So but if you reverse what I've just told you about the pros and cons of as a solo player, then you get a good idea of what it feels like to play in a guild. It's basically the reverse. What is this? I saw something move. Oh, it's a springbok. Okay. Are you going to follow me again, like last time? It was a springbok. Thought it was a player. Are you going to follow me again? No? Okay. That one's probably not under the control of Henrik or Sebastian. I'm kidding. I just, sometimes I do wonder. I do wonder whether it's that springbok in the previous episode was controlled by Henrik or Sebastian. But I digress. So that should give you a good idea of what it feels like to play as a solo player versus a guild. Now, does that mean that as a solo player you won't be able to experience much of Mortal Online 2? The answer is definitely no. You definitely get to... Oh, okay. Another bandit. Another bandit. Alright. Maybe I could wait for him to pass. Okay. I'll wait for him to pass. So, now, you can definitely experience a lot of this game. As a solo player, you definitely can achieve very big goals. I mean, I've definitely established my own sort of transporter, a small transporter business for myself. I've helped people transport goods secretly under the cover of darkness, and I've done it for a number of my friends. So I've definitely I've become a crafter of weapons and armor, and I've sold them on the market. So in a small scale sense, you can enjoy quite a lot of this game, but just remember that that you will be, you will have to sort of, reduce your sort of, you'll have to shrink down your ambitions. You definitely can't create a big, castle or keep or anything like that. You can establish a house, but you won't be able to build yourself a keep. That will be for the the big guilds. Oh, Elder Bush Pig. Now, is this going to attack me? Can this thing attack me? You never know, because when you've got an Elder Pig, I mean, who knows? So much of this game is could be potentially different to Mortal Online 1. Okay, but yeah, so you can definitely experience a large portion of this game in a miniature sense. So you can establish yourself as a crafter who sells his goods, but you won't be able to establish a like a continent-wide empire like what Ruben Ibaruri has been able to do. He was in a guild, I think, and so he's been able to leverage that kind of large-scale operations which, you know, as a solo player, you definitely won't be able to do, you know, unless you join a guild. So, you know, as a solo player, yes, you can experience a wide range of activities, and so definitely don't feel that, you know, you have to join a guild in order to experience everything that this game has to offer, because, you know, as a solo player in Mortal Online 1, I've definitely experienced a lot, you know. And I think this game really, you know, allows you to experience that sense of you are an individual. You know, you are not the hero, you are not the savior or some promised champion that's going to save the world. You are none of those things. You are just another individual player making his way in this world, and that's what I love about this game. So what is this place? Is there something in this place here? Curiosity, kill the cat, and it may very well kill you. Oh, it's a priest. Okay. I wonder whether this is what is this? Okay, I think it's just a random town that you pass. So it does seem like there's maybe we could explore this place a little bit. Okay, so moving on. So like I was saying, you do definitely get that sense that you are just another individual player, and I think that's one of the important things about this game, is that you know, unlike a theme park MMORPG, you are not trying to reach the end game. The end game is whatever you decide to put your mind towards. So that could be, you know, being a trader, that could be being a transporter, anything. You know, anything you set your mind to, that is your end game. And there's no end in sight. You know, once you start whatever it is that you want to do, you know, it is an ongoing thing. You know, so this game never really ends. There's no reach maximum level 60 and then, you know, that's it. Then you sort of, you know, stuck, you know, wondering what to do next. This game does not work like that. This game, you know, once you put your mind towards something, then that's when the excitement starts, because then you start to think, well, how do I achieve that goal, and how do I become better at that? And, you know, do I have any competitors? You know, what can I do better than my competitors? And, you know, where's my market? You know, where's my niche? That sort of thing. You know, you start to, you know, all these questions begin to come up, and so the end game in this game is very, very different. It is the, you know, that's when you finally discover your place in this game. You know, the end game is when you discover your place in this game world, and you become a part of it. You know? And so I think that's the beauty of this game as well. And as a solo player, you can definitely experience that, and as a guild player, definitely as well. You know, there's an end game for both, you know, play as a solo player and, you know, as a guild player. Okay, so we're going to move on now to talking about the player politics. Now, you know, the politics in this game, you know, I would say, you know, if you're a solo player, you probably don't have to worry too much. A lot of the times, you know, if you're just minding your own business, then more or less you'll be left alone. You know, you don't have to worry that, you know, that you're going to be embroiled in another guild's politics. However, you know, if you decide to meddle in a, you know, business that's not yours, so let's say you come across a guild fight and you decide to intervene, you decide to work you decide to help one side or the other, then immediately you become a target. You become part of that guild's politics. And so my advice to new players or those who don't want to get involved in politics, mind your own business. Don't get involved, because the moment you get involved, I think depending on the guild, you may find that this game, the politics will make things very, very difficult. And so and since you only have one character, it becomes a your actions have far more repercussions. And so you can't just delete your character, and you can't have an alt that you can just delete and recreate. So think very carefully before you get involved in something that's potentially none of your business. Now, however, even if you decide to avoid politics altogether, there are times when politics will take an interest in you. So I have a saying that you may not have any interest in politics, but at some point politics may take an interest in you. So sometimes, if you make friends, then the friends that you have, they may have some politics that are going on between them and other guilds and so forth. And so those the enemies of those friends of yours, they may start to take an interest in you, and they may say, well, this guy might be helping my enemy, so let's make him a kill on sight target. So that sort of thing can happen. However, in Most Online 1, I've not really experienced too much of player politics, and that's because I kept minded my own business. I didn't stick my nose into other people's other guilds' politics. Now, just be careful. If you decide to visit other player guilds' keeps and their structures. If you anger them or you do something that makes them upset, then you could find yourself on the on their blacklist. So just be careful of that. Okay, so yeah, with the politics, I think it's a lot of times it's just it's really large scale politics regarding territorial disputes and stuff that happens between different guilds and wars and that sort of thing. So by and large, you don't have to worry about those things spilling over and affecting you. But there's a lot of different ways that politics can eventually get you involved, whether you like it or not. So sometimes it can be as simple as let's say you're walking along in the wild and you're just going about your own business, and like I'm doing now, and a player killer comes along and tries to kill you and tries to loot your stuff, and you manage to kill them. Well, guess what? You've just made yourself a part of another guild's politics, because now they may start to take an interest in you. They might say, well, okay, so who's this guy? And you go from there. And so next time, they, more of their guild members, they might say, oh, this is the guy that killed one of ours, let's get him. However, it can also go the other way. They might say, oh, this guy's pretty skilled, he managed to kill one of ours, so let's invite him to our guild, for example. And so it can work out both ways, so it's not always a negative thing. However, you just have to be very careful with your words, be careful what you say, be careful who your friends are and who your enemies are. Because with so many, because this is a relatively tight-knit community, so if you work with one, potentially you would become enemies of another. So this is a very different kind of game. It might not be what you're used to in other MMORPGs. So you know, PvP in this game is not just going to a PvP zone, a dedicated PvP zone to duke it out for fun. Although a lot of players do that for fun in this game. I'm really curious. I want to just explore this road. Okay, so it actually leads to... Where does it lead to, this road? Does this lead... So I see a path. And so there is a path that leads over here. So let's go and see what is over there. I'm so lost, I don't even know where I am now. I know Tindrem's over here, but where is this place? Okay, so hopefully you've gotten a better perspective of that this game is not expecting you to join a guild. You can definitely have a lot of fun, like I did in Modern Online 1, and in Modern Online 2 I fully intend to do the same, and I can see myself having a lot of fun like I did in Modern Online 1, and probably even more so. And also hopefully you've gained a better understanding of how politics could work in this game. So it's definitely a very exciting sort of gameplay dynamic. It's definitely not what you're used to seeing in a lot of the other MMORPGs, I think. Yeah, so if you've ever played EVE Online, then you probably get a basic idea of how politics are like. But in this game, it's very, very unique in the sense that there's a lot of intricate things that you have to pay attention to, and there's a lot of ways that you can entangle yourself in politics, whether you want it or not. So unlike in EVE Online, where the politics is, I think, more or less contained in in outer regions of space, and so provided you don't go to those places, and provided you don't mess with other guilds, then pretty much guilds won't I don't think that those guilds corporations in EVE Online will take much interest in you. But in this game, it's very different. So you definitely need to pay attention to that. But I think a lot of what I've said is only scratching the surface. In a lot of what I said in this video is only scratching the surface. As you play this game, the more you play this game, the more you will discover, and you'll find that this game is very, very rich and very, very rewarding, whether you play solo or as a in a guild. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and as much as I have fun making it. So I will be back next time. I think I'm lost now. I think I'm going to follow this road and see where it leads me, but I won't keep recording because it's just going to take too long. But yeah, look at what a beautiful night. But I think I'll leave it at that. So thank you very much for joining me today, and hope that you will please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will be back next time. I think next time will be a new patch, because I think SV does release a new patch more or less every 2 weeks. So yeah, looking forward to seeing the next patch. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Fine Gaming Connoisseur. Take care and have a good day.